Among the Evanuris, one goddess stands out for her nurturing warmth and relentless spirit. Sylaise, the Hearthkeeper, protects and preserves the heart of elven culture. Known for her healing touch, masterful craftsmanship, and unwavering dedication to peace, she embodies the very essence of society and care. Today, we will delve into Sylaise's mysterious world, uncovering the untold story of the shadows that linger in her eternal flame. Every character trait works as a double-edged sword, so even the most innocent virtues could become fierce and then turn into vice. What secrets does Sylaise hide behind her gentle figure? And how do these hidden fears shape the very fabric of elven society? Let's start talking. Unraveling the character of Sylaise is challenging, as she rarely appears in the codex entries. She had no conflicts with other Evanuris, nor did she participate in propaganda like other elven gods. As usual, I'm using the narrative perspective to analyze characters logically, and thankfully, what we have is enough not only to map out her character arc, but also to speculate how significant she was to the people. Sylaise is known as the Hearthkeeper. She gave the elves fire and is associated with the home, healing, mending, and crafting. Considering the importance of the domestic arts, it's obvious that Sylaise's motivations and actions relate to the well-being and survival of the elven people. You might ask, how could such positive things be bad or corrupt a person? Well, although Sylaise's interests lay in social work and culture, she still was one of the Evanuris, and played a more active role in shaping Elvenon's fate by putting her good deeds to the extreme. My analysis led to a theory that Sylaise might have had a hand in protecting the elven culture and knowledge. Her primary motivation was to safeguard elven heritage and ensure the survival of her people as a civilization, while the other Evanuris drowned themselves in passionate conflicts and wars. So she turned a blind eye to the existing discords, and probably this avoidance is why she is associated with the hearth and home, symbolizing harmony through her non-conflict and protective nature. If we try to classify her work, we'll get a vast set of responsibilities. Building and maintenance. We remember Sonalium from a previous video, her gift to June, which supports the theory that Sylaise's domain of culture involved architecture as well as other arts. Building a library would ensure that essential elven lore and skills were preserved, especially in the face of threats from titans or internal conflicts. Maybe Sylaise was behind the concept of Shattered Library, and because of her long-run strategy, we were able to discover secrets about the Evanuris in the Trespasser DLC. Healing and care. Providing support and healing to her people both physically and spiritually during times of hardship grants Sylaise the role of a peacemaker, making every healer her devoted follower. Cultural continuity. Maintaining elven traditions and practices which are crucial for the identity of the elven society, or any society really, brings Sylaise forward as a protector of all generations. This marriage vow supports the idea that Sylaise had place in every home, every relationships, and practices. All three responsibilities could be reframed and summarized in our modern world, making Sylaise a goddess of community. Even though Sylaise appears indifferent to politics, I think she had more influence and unspoken power among the people than initially seemed. This song presents her in a powerful light compared to the other Evanuris, so we'll do line-to-line analysis. Sylaise, whose heat rivals Algernon's light. Algernon is known as the god of vengeance and the sun, representing light and power. Comparing Sylaise' heat to Algernon's light suggests that Sylaise possesses an intense and powerful warmth, possibly indicating her nurturing and life-giving aspects. This heat could also mean that she was a powerful fire mage. It's weird for slaves to expose that their peaceful goddess of domestic arts has the same power as the leader of the whole pantheon. It also raises a theory that Sylaise was openly in conflict with Algernon. Yet, her weapon was indifference and isolation, while Falandine and Andruil tried to fight the elders of the Evanuris openly. Sylaise, whose temples rival Mythal's cities. Mythal is also the protector, with cities likely representing the civilization of her making or her slaves. Temples dedicated to Sylaise rivaling Mythal's cities imply that Sylaise's places of worship were everywhere, as they had practical use. Hearthfire, cooking stations, healing houses are more important to society. This highlights her significant role in the elven community and suggests that her influence was widespread and deeply integrated into elven culture, even if slaves belonged to other Evanuris. Technically, every brazier in Mythal's temple represented Sylaise's fire and the warmth of a safe home. Sylaise, whose breath rivals Andruil's spear. Andruil is the goddess of the hunt and warfare, and also a protector of the people. Her spear possesses some attributes of fire magic, and I really hope we'll see it in the Veilguard. So, Sylaise's breath rivaling Andruil's spear might suggest that Sylaise is a powerful fire mage, and her words, or the spirits she breathes, are equally effective. She doesn't need a deadly weapon to protect the elves. This could mean her ability to heal, share knowledge, and breathe life into her people was performed with the same passion that Andruil used for killing. Sylaise, whose skill rivals June's craft. June is the god of the craft, associated with artisans and creation. Sylaise's skill, being compared to June's craft, highlights her proficiency in practical and creative arts, particularly those related to the home, healing, and perhaps even magic. Also, we have a codex entry that tells us about June's past. It was Sylaise who taught him. This suggests she is a master of various forms of creation and nurturing. Sylaise, whose fire cannot be quenched. This line reinforces the idea of Sylaise's enduring and indestructible spirit. Her fire symbolizes the unyielding dedication, passion, and resilience. It also suggests that her influence and presence are endless and cannot be easily destroyed because her presence remains in people's routine lives. Therefore, every domestic practice is a ritual dedicated to her. Moreover, the word quench sometimes means to satisfy a need or a wish, which strongly implies that Sylaise's spirit is always thirsty for more. Society always has small routine things to deal with, so Sylaise is always with her people. This song portrays Sylaise as a complex goddess with features of warmth, protection, skill, and resilience. Her motivation likely stems from a deep-seated desire to care for her people, using her numerous skills to maintain their well-being. Sylaise's teaching, Vir Atish'an, or the Way of Peace, can be logically connected to the analysis of the song by examining how her qualities are praised there and how they align with a philosophy centered on peace, nurturing, and protection. The Way of Peace highlights creating a safe and nurturing environment. Sylaise's warmth and protective nature align perfectly with this teaching, as peace often grows from a sense of security and well-being. Highly revered influence. Her significant place in elven society and mundane life implies that routine and stability are core values in the principles she embodies. Dynamic presence. Sylaise's breath, being as powerful as Andruil's spear, suggests that the pursuit of peace requires knowledge and resilience. Peace is not passive but an active, dynamic process requiring effort and dedication, qualities embodied by Sylaise. Creative and practical skills. Crafting and creating are essential for a self-sustaining community. Sylaise's talents support the development of a friendly society by guaranteeing that basic needs are met in harmony where people need people, thus reducing conflicts by focusing more on practical matters than endless debates or politics. Following this logic, Sylaise's great strength, her deep care and commitment to her people, could also be her greatest weakness. So her shadow aspects are linked to the same qualities. Her unquenchable fire and intense devotion lead to overprotection. Her desire to protect her people might have led to decisions that limited elves' growth or adaptation. Overprotection made the elves overly reliant on her or resistant to necessary changes. Considering that most elves were slaves, it fits Sylaise's corrupted image well. She was afraid of them being independent. Emotional vulnerability. Her empathy and emotional investment in elves' well-being might have made her easily manipulated or distracted by threats to her people. Unfortunately, we have no proof but the logic of narrative design to support this conclusion. Isolationism. The focus on maintaining elven purity and traditions could lead to isolation from other cultures and races, making it harder for elves to form alliances or adapt to a changing world. As we know, when the Evanuris discovered dwarves and titans, they weren't gentle. There was a war where they saw dwarves as mindless creatures. Also, there might be a twist in the story as Shaper Valta realized through her connection to the Titan that the dwarven race broke in two. So maybe some dwarves betrayed their people for some reason and sold others to mine lyrium for the Evanuris.
It's singing. A they that's an it that's asleep, but still making music.
All these lyrium veins, and they're completely untapped.
Still, it wasn't a trading partnership, but a dominance of one race over another. Isolation in its worst manifestation. All of that might have stimulated the fall of the Elven Empire, either by ongoing protection in ways that eventually caused harm, or by betrayal where others exploited Sylaise's protective nature. Additionally, her actions could be part of a larger, more complex strategy to preserve Elven culture in the long run, even if it meant suffering. Sylaise's figure is pretty tragic, as her fears of losing harmony led to political ignorance. However, her domain is the most appealing. What we're doing on this channel is practically her manifestation. I create videos, you share your thoughts, and we form a community where all beliefs matter as they are respectful and well opinionated. So let's start a discussion. What do you find the most conflicting about Sylaise? Why does she appear so rarely in Elven history? Is she a victim of the situation because of her focus on people's lives? Can't wait to see what you think. Have fun, play video games, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!